and we're going to go upstairs, and the box is big, and I got nowhere to put it, right? And I'm like, oh, I hope she doesn't see this. I'm like trying to move it from front pocket to back pocket, depending on how we're walking.
And so weird.
I'm Wiza.
I'm Nada.
This is the Two Keys in a Podcast.
Is that lame? I feel like that was lame as fuck.
Welcome back to the Two Keys in a Podcast. We are your humble hosts. Nada, how was your week?
It was my birthday yesterday.
Were you testing me? Like,
No, I wasn't.
okay. Yeah, how was your birthday?
I think I left the office at like 9:50. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, we
I
don't
was
have
there the
birthdays
entire
around
day.
here.
Yeah, no, really.
Especially not during a weekday.
Yeah, and I don't like celebrating my birthday, and I will not be disclosing my age. But I don't know. I mean, that's like the best birthday that I could have is literally doing nothing, because like that's so sad. Why
That's so crazy.
You bring like the light to this podcast, and I bring the darkness.
I'm not okay. What do you mean? To be honest with you, I'm like so obnoxious about my birthday.
Yeah.
So I can't relate.
I just can't. Like the trauma of getting older, like it scares me. It's like now I'm like this age and I still am not Elon Musk. It's like, how do I live with that?
I don't know if you want to be wrong.
Sorry,
Anyway, my week was I was sick.
I know.
I was like sick, you guys. I never get sick. One thing about Wiza Jane, I don't know what it is. Like, I never get sick.
Yeah.
And I was out for the count. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
had
know
no
you
idea
were.
what was going on, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I literally, like, my immune system usually has my back, and this time it was just like you're on your own, and I was just like, this is so crazy. But we're already back. Like we're up and running.
I have not been sick since like June or July, like when I got back from Hawaii. And I attribute it all to this one thing. Like I was scrolling through TikTok one day and I came up across this video of this girl who was making like, I don't know if you've ever been to Costco and you've seen like those little wellness shots. She was home making them. So like I have started home making them. And I just like, it's a disgusting process. I have to get this like cheesecloth and like straighten it out with my hands. But like, I swear to God, I haven't been sick. I get sick all the time. I'm like the opposite of you where I'm constantly sick, but I just haven't been because I drink that every single morning.
So, bitch, I don't know where that suggestion was when I was sick this week.
You gotta make them. You know what the worst part is though? Actually, our last podcast that we filmed, I like took the wellness shot because I was on the go. And so I was in my car. I was getting ready to come up here. And then it made my teeth yellow because there's turmeric in it.
Oh,
so I was
my
like, oh my
God.
God, I'm gonna have like yellow teeth for the next podcast. And then I was like swishing water nonstop.
Drop
But
the recipe.
besides that, it's really great.
Drop the recipe.
Drop the
People want to
recipe.
know.
Okay. So here's what you do. First of all, you can use powdered turmeric, but if you want to be a real one and you really want to fight off those bugs, you got to get the actual turmeric. Okay. And then you grab lemons, you grab oranges, you do roughly the same amount of lemons to oranges. And then you just like peel them. You don't have to. Ryan left the peel in the last one, but it was really fucking gnarly. So please peel it. And then you just take a bunch of ginger, like an ungodly amount of ginger. You blend all that stuff up. You add a little bit of cayenne pepper or a little bit of black pepper, and then you just bottle it. And you
Black pepper.
Apparently it's supposed, I haven't researched the science behind this or anything to do with it, but it is supposed to like help activate everything. I have no idea like if that's even a thing, but we just added in case that is a thing.
Every single ingredient that you just talked about is just heaven sent for sickness. So it makes a lot of
exactly.
sense. I've never heard of black pepper in my
Yeah.
life for fighting off.
I don't know, but you can do
sickness.
cayenne too.
Like, I feel like black pepper makes you like sneeze.
yeah, maybe that's what it is. You're like,
Oh, I guess. Yeah.
getting rid of that. They're so disgusting, but if I swear by anything as someone who always gets sick, this will keep you from getting sick.
It's okay. There's a lot of like disgusting stuff we like put like drink and eat
yeah.
for the purpose of health. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of health, should we give an update on our skinny girl journey?
Oh my God, yes.
How's yours going?
So
She made brownies the other day.
let me talk about this. So I don't deserve any credit for this. Absolutely none, because it started off good. It started off like I was like counting my calories. I was doing this, I was doing that. I lost like 5
You
pounds.
were the one motivating me.
Yeah, I lost like 5-7 pounds, something like that, right? anyways, I started my mortgage job, been going to the office every day, been chaotic as hell. I dropped like another like 6 pounds without even trying, just because I've been stressed not eating. So like I did make brownies and I did binge eat brownies, but that was probably the only thing I ate that day.
I'm not okay. Yeah, one thing that's so weird about Nada is like she literally just doesn't eat. Like she just like doesn't eat. And I'll be like, what did you have to eat like before the podcast or something like that? Just because, you know, like in my mind, if you fuel your body, you're like ready to go, you know? And she's just like, I literally haven't ate since like yesterday at 10 a.m. And I was like, oh my God.
No, it's like a good day if I'm able to eat by 4 p.m. But usually it's more like an 8 p.m. type of thing. And then I binge eat everything all at once.
Do you just get that busy? Like I get busy too, but like I have to eat.
Thing. It's like if I eat and like I know I have like 80 things that I need to do, I feel like I can't eat until I have those things done because I will physically get sick.
Yeah.
Like in my first year of real estate, I was like, and I wasn't even like eating in the morning, mind you. Like it was just coffee that was making me like feel sick. Like even just like drinking that. So like I was puking. Like I just don't respond well to stress, but like I keep pushing through it. And like that's my toxic trait for sure.
Yeah, we don't. Don't recommend.
I'm not a healthy girl. Like do not do what I do.
So needless to say, your skinny girl journey is still on its way, except
I'm down like 12 pounds. Like
by means of stress though.
By means of stress, by means of not trying. I deserve absolutely no credit.
Okay.
How's yours?
Well, I just like I go to the gym like I do. Like I have a routine already. The only thing that's changed is that now I'm counting my calories. Because before I definitely know how to like eat healthy. I definitely know like what to put in my body that like reacts well with like, you know, eating and weight loss or whatever you're trying to do. But you don't like count the calories. Like it's just kind of like you're like blind to like what you're actually like eating, I guess.
For sure.
And like truly the formula to losing weight is like calories in versus calories out. Like
100%.
everything that we've been told is such a lie. Like growing up, you know, like it's just so crazy. All you have to do is like eat less, move more, and get a lot of protein. Like that's literally it.
Well, like look at me. I like last week all I ate was brownies.
Yeah, no.
But it was like the only thing I ate. So
Yeah. Again, don't recommend. Obviously the quality of what you're eating is like the most.
Just like if you don't want to die young.
Yeah. So it's just been, I just feel good, you know what I mean? With the exception of last week when I was like extremely sick. But like, I just feel
Light as a
better.
feather.
Light as a feather. Like I just feel really like it's going well.
Yeah. I'm glad to hear that.
I feel like this is going to be old news by the time this podcast actually comes out, but like whatever. Like, did you watch Love is Blind?
I did. I watched everything.
I watched everything as well. What did you think?
I mean, I probably forgot all of their names by now already, to be honest.
The only thing that we have to recap since the last time we recapped was the finale and the reunion. So the end. Okay, here's my general consensus. What?
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to talk about Joey and Monica because I thought that was crazy
like all
at the reunion.
It's so crazy how like there are seasons where the women are so toxic and such like pieces of shit. Yeah, and then there's seasons like these last couple seasons where the men are so unbelievably trash. Do you remember when I came in this podcast studio and I said the words? I was just like, you like if this isn't your type, you should date like a short like Minnesotian king or whatever wherever they're from, because I thought they were so nice, like Alex, like, you know, Mason, and they are like they're okay. I know I heard the allegations about Alex, not great. But like holy fuck, Joey, go to the trash bin where you belong.
Okay, but did you see that he was caught hooking up with
Sarah? I'm not surprised.
I'm not
like,
surprised. I'm
Sarah?
surprised from Sarah though. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh, I have a different opinion on Sarah. I think I have a hot take.
Really?
Ready?
Let me hear it.
She is the epitome of pick me, not like from a men's standpoint, but even just from a social causes standpoint. Hear me out, okay? I'm Black, all right? And I'm very like, you know, like I love our allies, like, you know, like she was all about Black Lives Matter and like that. These are the things that she expressed in the pods to
it was a big deal to her for sure. Yeah,
it was a big deal to her, even though he was just like, I have no opinion on it, which like, you know, like teach his own, but she still chose him. She still got engaged to him. She still went out in the real world with him. I just think it's corny how at the wedding, she was like, all these things are so important to her. She said no to the wedding, but then she tried to date him after. Like, I'm just, okay, like, Sarah, like, which one is it? Like, I actually need you to, like, figure it out, because one thing that was, like, a common theme during the reunion that I found was that, like, all of the women that, like, said no on the wedding went on to like try and date after the show, and it's just like, well, okay. And then the men came on the reunion being like, well, like, I was kind of like, you know, men are like, they get a little bit of fame, I'm sure, like after the show wraps, even though it doesn't air for another year, they're on their high horse, you know. They're like, I'm the shit, like, I'm about to be on a #1 reality Netflix TV show.
Give men a little bit of power.
No, totally, but like they're gonna be fuckboys for a year. You know what I mean? Especially if you left them hanging high and dry at the altar. And I just don't know why like all these women were so shocked that these men weren't like bowing down to them after the altar. It's just like you rejected them. And then to come on the show, and the only thing that they talked about in the reunion was shit that we didn't see. Like Netflix, no, Love is Blind is the queen of like a bunch of mess that doesn't actually make the air.
Like, do you remember the cuties story?
Yes.
I'm so happy they actually aired that though, because
I'm so happy that they actually aired it.
Like, why can't they just do that again?
Like, I'm just confused why every single good like TV moment is never caught. Remember the season with Chelsea and Jimmy?
Yeah.
Remember when he like, we could have seen the moment when Jimmy saw Jessica for the first time and they just didn't catch her.
I know.
Or the season with Jeremy and Sarah Ann and like Laura.
That was crazy.
Remember how there was this whole fiasco about him meeting up with Sarah Ann on the west side of the city, and we just didn't see it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so sick of them just like not showing us it. Like, roll the tapes. Don't you have a TV show? Don't you have producers? Don't you have cameramen? Use them.
You know what gave me the biggest ick though?
What?
At the reunion, when they were having a live performance, but it wasn't actually live, and then they were all standing there like awkwardly dancing. I couldn't even look. Like, that's how much cringe it gave me.
Awkwardly dancing, to say the least.
Yeah, they were
I actually
like,
quite enjoyed it. Like, I don't know why I like
song
enjoyed
was
the
great.
actual
Like, the
song.
performance was great, but I expect, like, if you're saying that there's a live performance, like, I kind of expect it to be live.
No, for sure. No, it was really cringy. It was really cringy. What did you think about the foursome that was Madison, Mason, Meg, and Alex?
Honestly, I guess I was a bit surprised to see Meg like sitting on the side with the guys. I mean, and then Madison, like when she came out with the screenshots, that's where I was like, I kind of expected like more. Like, it did come for Alex a bit, but like I just expected more. Kind of already forgot everything that happened.
That display was just like the corniest thing in the world. For Meg to come on and be so team Alex?
No,
Is it Mason? Mason. Okay. God, they look the exact same.
I know.
Anyway, for her to be so team Mason, the guy still didn't pick you, so I don't know, like I don't know, like how that makes you feel. But they came on and they were like, "We're best friends." I'm just like,
Well, like, did you see that they did like the fake reveal thing like afterwards?
yeah, it's just the.
Did they try to date?
They tried to date.
Yeah, just better as friends.
I'm sure she would date him today if he wanted to. It's so clear that he has all the power
I
in
could
that
have told
dynamic.
you that like from the pod.
Totally.
Like,
He didn't pick her in the pods. He didn't pick her in real life.
No.
She's still coming on, and like, I don't love Madison either, but like her screenshots, I know everybody's saying that like that it didn't prove anything.
Yeah.
It was something.
It was something for
It was
sure.
something.
I
Like,
think
my
just the
friends
way,
don't talk about me
just
like
the way
that.
she whipped it out of her like armpit.
She
Like,
was
I
trying
was
to have a moment.
expecting the most,
For sure.
you know, like that's just it. Like,
She was trying to have a moment.
Yeah.
On that note, Love is Blind chapter. I'm so glad that fucking season is over. Like,
same.
I hated it. It was.
I feel
Now,
like
if
they're
I
all
had to
getting
rank it, it's my
worse.
least favorite.
Yeah, like there's just nothing really to like keep you there. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Like, not them like having the top 5 like moments in mixed in this reunion. Like, all that did was really like outline how shitty this season
It's
was because it didn't have a
true.
moment.
Well, I feel like that's probably why they did it.
Totally.
Plus, it was like the 10 or 5-year anniversary of the show.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Should we talk about real estate? That's our jobs.
Oh yeah. Real estate.
Let's talk about real estate. Let's talk about the market. There's a lot going on. What are you telling your clients?
Well, right now we watch the market closely. Obviously, it's our job. What we're seeing right now is a ton of inventory, but less buyers. Not less buyers, but they're slowly trickling in. It's not like a pool of buyers,
like
right?
the spring markets.
Yeah,
that we're
like you would
used
think
to,
that,
you know
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's usually like a week where it like pops.
for sure.
That week hasn't happened yet, but it's forthcoming for sure. Because right now we're just seeing a lot of buyers like taking their time. They have the luxury of taking their time finally for the first time in like 2 years. And they're taking advantage of it, which get it, girl. Like all my buyers are just like, I'm like, you know, take a day, whatever.
For sure.
But what that's creating obviously is a lot more supply than there is demand. So we're seeing a lot of price decreases. We're seeing a lot of negotiations being able to be happening. But unfortunately, I think whenever the week does come that I'm talking about, where it kind of just, spring always just kind of prances on you. Like I don't know how to explain it. Yeah. But whenever that week comes, there is going to be a shift where the sellers are going to be more in power than the buyers are right now. And I will say that there is a short window of time and opportunity for buyers to be able to get a deal. Whenever that week comes, then that's it. We're back to bidding wars.
And you know what I think it depends on? Like a big part of it is like tariffs and like interest rates.
Yeah.
Because number one, like we're in a very short time period right now where interest rates will be coming down.
Yeah.
But like what's going to happen afterwards is that inflation's going to go up. And once inflation goes up, that means they're bringing those interest rates right back up. And I think because it's tariffs that we're dealing with, the effects will actually happen faster. So I think usually like when an inflation occurs, like it's usually a lagging indicator. So like it takes like a year for us to like feel the effects of like those interest rate movements and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But right now, like I said, because of the tariffs, it might actually make it move faster. So I think like as Wiza was saying, there's a really short window of time right now for buyers to like get in at the most like opportune moment.
And I mean opportune, like
For sure.
How much I'm able to get my buyers off, like the purchase price right now for like resale properties is, it's kind of insane.
It's
like,
crazy.
Sellers are just panic selling.
Yeah,
sellers
they
are
are.
willing to, they just want to get rid of whatever, move on to the next one. Sellers want to buy, so they want to be able to sell their property because they know that there's only this short window of time to actually buy their next one and vice, like whatever.
Like obviously we're not fortune tellers, like especially like right now with like what's happening, like we can't really predict that long, especially because Trump's so unstable and like he's always changing his mind every 2 seconds. Like anything is capable of happening at this point.
The market changes 3 times a day.
Yeah, and they might even call an election in Canada.
Yeah.
So like everything depends on everything right now.
Everything is up in the air. So that's why you just kind of have to take it day by day.
For sure.
And work with a realtor who actually like has their finger on the pulse of what's happening every single day. Cause like I said, like the market is literally changing like 3 times a day.
Yeah.
And it's because of everything that's happening in the news. So, by taking it day by day, it allows you to make a decision that isn't based off of what might happen in the future. Because unfortunately, what might happen in the future is your opportunity is crumbling. So you might as well make a move if you are in the market to buy right now.
So like I said, I feel like we're in like a peak window of opportunity right now where if you are a buyer, this is really most likely the best scenario that you're going to get with interest rates, with home prices, with negotiation power. So like I probably wouldn't sit around and wait. Like if you're waiting for a big crash, if you're waiting for something like that to happen, we don't know that that's going to happen.
This is what I call a buyer's market.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about like the feel of it. If you look at the data and stuff like that, and you look at like the days on market and like the months of supply and stuff like that, technically we're in a more balanced market than we are a buyer's market. But I feel like we're in a buyer's market.
Well, I think to us too, like our perspective is a little skewed because we're so used to like you're going in, you're seeing a properity. Okay, we're against 10 offers. This is how high above list price we have to go.
No, for sure. And now I'm just like, so.
And you're just like,
Because we
get
can
you
see
20K
12
off.
more.
Yeah, like,
Literally.
it's like 10 on the street. Like,
Actually, though. But I just think that for buyers, like if you are in the market, if you're looking, if you're thinking about looking and stuff like that, I'm just petrified that a buyer is going to miss this window and kind of start taking the buying process seriously when those interest rates start to trend upwards. And we saw the last time that interest rates went up, prices still went up in
Yeah.
Calgary because what happens with interest rates is that it's universal, right? It affects all of Canada. That is the Canadian interest rate. So it doesn't only affect us in Alberta, it affects Toronto, it affects, Ontario, it affects BC, it affects all of Canada.
Yeah.
So those markets that are already so inflated price-wise are going to feel the pain a lot more of a 0.5 or 0.25% increase in interest rates than we are. They just are. And what it creates is a bunch of people looking for a better, stable life somewhere cheaper. And we're cheaper. Like, we will always be cheaper. We have less tax. We have just better quality of living in that sense. So I don't know if Calgary's prices will ever get to like Toronto and Vancouver prices, only because like those cities are pretty landlocked, right? Like Calgary can build outwards, and we do. Like there's constantly new developments that are happening and stuff like that. So Calgary isn't on the map as hard as like Toronto is and like
Definitely
Vancouver and stuff
not,
like that. So it's just like I don't think that Calgary will ever reach those levels of prices, which is why I think it continues to be this this Canadian hub for people that still want like the metropolitan lifestyle, but they want cheaper prices. Like it's always going to be cheaper than those places. I know that those places are coming down in price because their markets are crashing a little bit, but I just think that all that creates is an opportunity for some people to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Our prices like will continue to go up as real estate does over time. But those places are just so like ahead of us, like popularity wise.
And it doesn't necessarily like have to get to the same price point. Like it just has to get to the same price point where it makes sense. Like in exchange for the amenities and everything that you get, you know?
Exactly. For what it is.
And that's the thing. Like I remember Calgary was like having this campaign and they were like advocating for all of this migration into Calgary, and then you just like boomed. And then like, yeah, exactly like what you said, interest rates went up, and then people who had mortgages that were 3 times as big as the mortgages here were just getting smacked, and like they had to come over here. They had no choice really, because Calgary's probably like the third city can get in Canada that's like the most similar to those two with like amenities. We have like the river, like all of that sort of access and stuff. The winters suck, but
take what you get. That's another reason why I don't think the prices
cold too.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
it's not that big of a difference.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I give like a little mortgage rant?
Oh my God, of course.
Okay. So something I want to talk about that I feel like a lot of people and like a lot of realtors don't necessarily know or think about when their clients are getting a mortgage is that the numbers are so interchangeable. And like I'll explain that right now. Right. So one of the things that I didn't understand is like from a mortgage broker perspective, right? Like if you tell them that you're looking at a $700,000 house, like exactly what they're going to do is they're going to look up the Calgary mill rate. They're going to multiply it by that amount. And like that's the amount they're going to run with property taxes. Like if you don't tell a mortgage broker it's a condo, they're probably not going to run it with condo fees, because a lot of them don't keep their finger on the pulse in terms of like what you can get at what price points. The things I want to say is that like, if you have a client, for example, they like a home and you notice the property taxes are a little bit lower than what the mortgage broker ran it with. And with my clients in the past too, I would always ask them, like, what property tax amount did your mortgage broker run this with? What condo fees did they run it with? And like, what are like, know the exact terms of like your pre-approval and what numbers they're using so that you can play with it if you want to. You know, for us, like we have clients that are like a lot of clients actually that end up in the $500,000 to $600,000 range. And that's a really tough range to be in. Like that's a range where like you are so make or break with the numbers of like, it's literally the difference between them being able to get like a small detached home that works or like one that's
what
bigger
they
and
actually
falling
want.
apart. Yeah, exactly. Like you're in a really tight squeeze. And like the way that I managed to help my clients in the past with that is by just like looking at the numbers, like analyzing, because you know it, like if you have a smaller property, right, it's probably going to be priced less. Like that means it's probably going to have lower property taxes too. Like, and you can just you can kind of move it a little bit, you know? Same thing with condo fees, right?
100%.
Like if I run something with like $700 a month in condo fees, like for example, if you tell me you're getting a 2-bedroom, that's probably the number I'm using, right? If you get like a 2-bed, 1-bath or something like a little bit smaller but nicer and the condo fees are less, like we can probably make that work with your ratios if we just move it around.
Yeah, exactly.
So like I think something that's really important that like I would like to see more realtors doing is like getting more involved with like the exact numbers and like how things exactly work.
100%.
Right.
It is all about tweaking.
Yeah.
I'm being so dead serious. Like I will just send my mortgage broker
Yeah.
the MLS like sometimes before we even view it, honestly.
Yeah,
If
it's
I
a
can
good
tell
way.
that it's
Yeah.
going to be like,
Yeah.
you know, just to be like, can you just run this quick?
Yeah.
Like, you know, to see if it's even worth looking at. Because exactly what you're saying, you can look at the MLS sheet. It has every single thing,
Exactly.
property taxes, condo fees. If it's not a condo, it is infinitely better because you're more likely to get qualified for more because you
Yeah.
don't have those fees.
Exactly.
So yeah, no, everything is interchangeable, like you said.
Yeah. And I think that's like the biggest difference between like having a realtor that's really present and involved and having one that like doesn't really care to know what's going on and like
just
how
what
they
did your
can
mortgage
do
broker say?
the best for you.
600, you're good. Okay,
Yeah.
good to go. Like
Yeah.
it's like no 600. There's always an asterisk. There's always
sure.
a but.
There's
you know,
there's always something that can be done there, you know?
especially if it's at the top of your purchase abilities.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
I think the other thing is like debts have so much of an effect
my
on
God,
your
yeah.
numbers that like I can't stress it enough to people. And there's like a ratio of debt that you can have that it makes sense, right? So like the GDS we look at is 39%.
can you explain what GDS is?
So GDS is your gross debt service ratio. So like with that one, what we do is we look at your income and we compare it to the mortgage, the taxes, and the heat of the property, right? So we look at that number with no debts. That needs to be 39% or under unless we can do extended ratios. If we're looking at TDS, we're looking at your total debt service ratio. So that includes your debts as well. And we can take that up to 44%. So there's about a 5% spread in there where it makes sense to have like a 5% amount of debt relative to your income and all of those property taxes or whatever. So like, for example, if you're someone who has like a student loan and we look at this on a monthly
Basis.
like scale. Yeah. Like we look at it per month instead of like per year. Right. So like if we look at a student loan and like you're paying like, you know, the minimum payments like 150 or something like that, depending on the size of your loan, then you're probably under that 5% spread. So like, I know you're going to be good. So that's what I mean when I say it's okay to have a little bit amount of debt. But like, if you have a ton of credit cards that are maxed out, if you have a car loan, nothing will sink you faster. You are basically on the Titanic at that point.
Shout out Rose. R.I.P. You're literally on the Titanic.
Yeah, but if you have like a client who like, you know, they're worried about their credit score, that's a thing that's really common actually is people think that they need to have like a ridiculously high credit score. If you're over 650, we can pretty much put you with all the best lenders still. So like you don't have to be like crazy, like in the 800s type of thing. Like a lot of people think it's worse than it actually is. And then like it's about analyzing like why is your credit bad? Like why are your debts the way they are? And then dealing with that before you go in and get your pre-approval. Because then we can sort it the best, you know?
Totally. Yeah, exactly.
Something that I think is so funny is that I get DMs and comments and people telling me in person that we have the most soothing voices.
Oh my God. Soothing.
I just want to let these people know
I'm like, I don't know if I'd use that as an adjective.
that I edit our podcast. So I get to see the raw audio from the cameras and it is the mics. We do not sound cute on
for
the
sure.
raw audio.
Yeah.
I guarantee if you had anyone speak through these mics, it would sound soothing. It would sound good. But I promise you, we're much more abrasive in person.
I'm like, honestly, sometimes I watch the episodes back and I just don't know if I'd use soothing.
Yeah, I don't know if I would either.
Especially not for me. Yours?
Yeah.
No, your voice, you have a voice of an angel. I kind of have the voice of a fucking like elephant or something. I don't know.
I
Like,
feel like it's complimentary though.
truly.
Like, you know, I feel like on every podcast you have someone who's like a little louder, a little funner, and then you have like the little mouse right there. And like, I'm your little mouse.
I'm like a gorilla. I'm like,
as promised, we are having a guest on this episode. It is the one and only Shawn Getty. He's making his way downtown, walking fast. No, I'm kidding. He's coming. He's coming soon. So stay tuned, and when we come back, we will be with Shawn Getty.
We need a sponsor so we can throw in a commercial break at times like this.
If anybody wants to sponsor
Yes.
our podcast,
Yes.
just let us know.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Two Keys in a Podcast. We are joined by our friend, the man, the myth, the legend, and our mentor, Shawn Getty.
Oh, perfect.
Period, Mac. This is his dog too, so he's just going to be bumping up over everywhere. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good, and you?
How's your day?
Good, great, grand.
Did we disturb it?
A little bit, yeah.
The way we called this man into the studio, he's
Like,
hard
no
to get track
notice.
of. He's hard to, track down. So we called him on a random Saturday, and we were like, "Hey, can you come do our podcast?" And he was just like, "Absolutely," because
You two guys.
you love us.
Yeah.
yeah, we know. Okay, so let's talk about you for a little bit, just because you kind of started from the bottom. Now you're here.
As Drake would put it, yeah.
Yeah. Can you
the new
tell
king
us?
of Canada.
Can you tell us a little bit about your origin story, how you started, how you began in the real estate industry, and so on and so forth?
Way back to the
Yeah.
beginning? Okay.
Started from the bottom.
Yeah. So it's started the way that you're supposed to. 6 months in debt, missing my mortgage and car payments, and going into foreclosure. So I think that's how they tell you to come into the market, right? Right?
100%.
Oh no, it's 6 months saved. That's right. Yeah. So I came in, the exact opposite of the way that you were supposed to. I kind of joke about it now, but the only things I owned was debt and depression. Like that's all I had when I came into the market. And I started 2019 when, if you're familiar with the Calgary market, that was at the end of our recession. So we just had a 4-year or 5-year decline in the economy. And like, I joke about this too, but the average days on market was literally 3 years. And people are like, what? I'm like, no, like if you go back and you actually check the history of properties, it might have said 87 days or 92 days. But if you actually go, it was on, off, on, off, on, off for 3 years is how long it took to sell houses. So that was, I entered the market with literally no money and no experience in resale. And that time. So that was kind of really, that's where it started.
That's where it started.
Yeah.
But now you were one of the top producers in all of Canada when you were producing as an agent. Now he doesn't produce as an agent. He just runs a team.
Yeah.
And now it is one of the most successful teams in North America. Dr. Bragg.
Yeah.
But can we talk about how you got there? I know that there was a few teams prior to.
Oh, yeah.
So
And then some, yeah.
let's get into it.
Yeah. And no, I was actually one of the top agents in North America, not just Canada. So what happened is like my biggest year was 186 deals, 186 ends. And I remember being at EXPCon that year, and they were showcasing like the number one person, and they did 194.
Oh,
I didn't know I was that close.
My
Yeah.
God, you would have wrapped
Like
it up if
punching
you
the
knew.
air.
If I knew I was that close, yeah.
Literally, you
I
would
was
have
thinking
made.
it was like, thousands of deals or something, right?
Yeah.
I
You would
didn't
have
know
bought
any-
your own houses.
Literally back then, yeah,
Yeah.
that would have been pretty easy. Yeah. Yeah, so 6 or 7 deals away from proper number one, but here we are. Yeah, and then actually I started my first team less than a year, or just over a year, sorry, in the business. And what happened is I had so much extra clients that I thought the right thing to do was to bring on an agent. Little did I know that person wanted training as well. And I'm like, oh, I don't have time for that. And that's really what started the very first team. And then I think I got up to about 5 people before that one fell apart. And then I was just kind of off and on for years, trying to bring on people, trying to understand different splits, trying to understand different compensation plans and different trainings and all that kind of stuff. And every time I would build it up, and the biggest I got was 27, and then that went down straight to 0. And so like it's a lot harder than people think actually starting a team.
To start a team.
But now here we are. We're just over 70 agents at the moment, and we'll see where we end up. But yeah, we're going to be battling for number one in North America month on month here.
Period. What do you think you learned from the failed teams before to be able to produce such a massive, successful team this time?
Oh man, so much. So some of the biggest things actually came from being at conventions. So this is why I recommend everybody go to these things. And instead of it being like in one of the sessions that somebody's giving on, a lot of people, we call it like the lobby con instead of like EXP con or Tom Ferry con or whatever. And what happens is the conversations that you have in the lobby are actually the ones that can really change your life and your business. So if you could just catch somebody that's, you know, one of the biggest producers of whatever it is that you want to do and have a conversation with them. But I had 3 conversations with people in the lobby at these events that changed everything. And I'll give you an example of the main one. So the main one was about onboarding. I think, were you on one of my teams with no onboarding?
I think I was. Yeah. I was.
It was like, hey, welcome to the Getty Group. Have a seat. Let's get started.
I mean, I kind of lived for it in the moment. Like, I was ready to just pound pavement.
That is just as chaotic.
Yeah, and we had onboarding when you started though, didn't we? Like we had like actual training, like alpha agents and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So what happened is I saw other teams, and I was never on a team, right? So I didn't know how they operate or functioned on the inside, but I saw other ones, and a lot of it was like just pre-recorded videos that they were loaded onto YouTube or Trainual or whatever, right? And I'm like, wow, that's so terrible. I'm like, why would somebody join a team just to watch YouTube videos of stuff? Like it didn't make any sense. And I'm like, I'm going to do everything live. I'm going to do everything in person. I'm going to do everything when the people need it, right? For questions. Well, that works for like 3 or 4 or 5 people, but once you get up to 20 or 25, it's impossible. So onboarding was something that I learned from a guy named Jason Mitchell. And if you guys, do I talk to you about him? Jason Mitchell? No?
I don't know.
So if you Google him, he's the #1 agent in the world. He did $5 billion last year in sales.
Probably know him.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like, they say it's not fair that he calls himself a team because he's got like 8,500 agents,
Oh, wow.
right? So it's like a brokerage. But anyways,
Gotcha.
it's a team. But I was super, super lucky to just find myself in a conversation with this guy a few years ago. And it's funny because I didn't know who he was either. And he was like grilling me with questions. And I'm thinking I'm helping him, right? Answering questions. Oh, this guy's getting a lot of information out of me. It's great, right? The only thing I got out of him was when he asked me about onboarding. And I'm like, oh, I wouldn't really have it. We just say, sit down, let's get started. I like that it's live and whatever. And he's like, oh, no, our onboarding is like a month. I'm like, a month? I'm like, how does it a month? I'm like, that's crazy. Like, they just sit and watch videos for a month? And he goes, no, you need it. And then he goes, the problem is he goes, you're answering questions. I'm like, the problem is I'm answering questions? And he goes, yeah, you shouldn't be answering any questions whatsoever. He goes, the goal is not to talk to anybody. I'm like, what? Like, this is not making sense with me. And he's like, the thing is the first time that you tell somebody something, you might be 10 out of 10 energy. The second time you tell a new person something, maybe you're at 10 out of 10, but probably not. But by the time you've said the same thing 10 or 15 or 20 times to an agent, you're at like a 1 out of 10. Like, you're annoyed that you have to tell them something.
You're like, get out of my face.
Yeah, because you've said it so many times, but it's the first time they're hearing it.
Yeah.
So now you're delivering the lowest possible quality service to that person because your energy is so off, is one. And then the other problem is when they need you the most, you might be helping somebody. Here's how an addendum works. Here's how to write a contract. Here's like all that stuff can be pre-recorded. So once I had that aha moment and I'm like, oh man, I need onboarding. So I went back and it took me almost a year to actually record the full amount of onboarding and everything. And that was like, I know it sounds so crazy and so simple, but that's one of the things that allowed us to scale the most is, well, you guys have it. Like, do you see, nobody asks nobody questions anymore unless it's like about a particular deal.
Yeah.
But like there's the function of real estate is fully covered in that now.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
Right?
true.
We're like a well-oiled machine now. Like,
I think so. Yeah.
Absolutely.
something that I want to know is, what is the biggest thing that you see in agents that succeed versus agents that don't?
Honestly, all of the ones that come in with an ego are the ones that fail the most, always. And the ones that come in saying, like, I got a network and I'm so good with people and I'm a salesperson are the ones that end up kind of burning out pretty quick. The people that make it the most are the ones that are just knowledge hungry.
Yeah.
So the ones that they just want to learn, they just want to practice. And not that they don't care about the results, but they just care about learning the process and the systems and everything. So the ones that are thirsty for knowledge are the ones that do the best. And anybody that comes in with an ego, real estate will humble you so fast.
Yeah.
Super quick.
Yeah. Like, you came in confident, but I think you got humbled a little bit at the beginning too,
I
didn't you?
probably did. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well, I
probably
think
did.
the way it works is like
I already admitted it from memory.
I did like 2 deals right away, and then I had like a couple stale months. You know, how, like your prospects expecting like lags.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I got stuck, is I think I had like 2 or 3 months where it was like nothing, and then like 1 month where it popped, and then 1 month where it did like really good again too.
Yeah.
And that was the phase that was really hard for me. But
Was nothing.
Yeah,
But
you
you
just-
stayed pretty consistent.
I did though. Yeah,
Yeah.
like after that like first hump, like I was pretty consistent. Yeah, my referrals, everything too.
And I think when you run the deal, I don't think like for the most part we were like 5 agents or less.
Yeah.
So like you had a lot of attention.
Yeah, I got like the most one-on-one time
All the
probably
time.
for sure.
Yeah. So Nada is probably one of Shawn's longest standing agents that's
Mm-hmm.
still around.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been through a few crash and burns.
She's been through greats.
Who knows?
I joined way later.
Yeah, yeah. You came on when it was like all sunshine and lollipops. I'm like,
She waited. She scoped it out.
Avoided the mess. Okay, speaking of ego and like that sort of thing, and like what you see in people that fail and people that succeed, what do you think is like the biggest mindset shift for success in general?
like just overall.
Yeah. Like if somebody who's watching this podcast is like, I just want to be successful in whatever they are doing, what would you say in terms of their mindset?
So I've even found this like in myself for sure. It's understanding that failure is part of the game, right? I know like a lot of people say that and you hear it all the time on stuff and whatever. But the thing is if you're trying to achieve something great or even great to you, where it's like outside of your capabilities, you have to fail. It's outside your capabilities. And if it's inside, then you're not growing. So if you're trying to achieve something greater than who you are today, understand that failure is inevitable. It's 100% part of the process because you're reaching past what you can do. And then when you do fail, don't take it hard. Sit back and be like, okay, well, where did I mess up? Where did I could have done something better? And what can I change? So like for any business or anybody trying to be successful, honestly, like you want to run towards the failures. And then the harder it is, the less people obviously that are going to get through it and do it. But yeah, like if you can handle a 7 out of 10 and you want to get to the 8, you can't. You have to fail at the 7, sometimes multiple times, so you can figure out what the code is to get past the 7, and then you could accomplish 8, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've worked with a lot of buyers and sellers, and we're at like a kind of a weird time in the market compared to what we're used to. What's like the biggest mistakes you would say that buyers or /sellers could make right now in this market?
Oh man, not paying attention to the economy. It's so crazy, and not paying attention to policies. Like you can't time the market, and like it's time in the market, of course, and all these things. But I was watching a few posts from realtors out east, and what happens like if you're following the market, the policies, the things are going to happen. I've been calling this for a while that the East is about to take a beating, like a spill, right?
Yeah, you have been.
And they have been, but it's like just starting. Like the door just opened to this. And I saw some realtors and they were literally making posts about it and they're trying to be all cool. Like they're all wearing like sunglasses and stuff. I'm like, dude, like you're not in a rap video, like, right? Like take them off. But anyways, they were like, tariffs, Trump, policy. He goes, I don't get paid to do that. I get paid to sell houses. He goes, if you, yeah, right? And like, if you want to buy or you want to sell, I'll get it sold. And I'm like, that is so counterproductive to that person's life and their future and their retirement. I'm like, you need to know policy. You need to know what's going on so you can steer people from literally sprinting off a cliff. So I would say, yeah, for buyers and for sellers both, is if you're not going to pay super close attention, get a realtor that has been paying close attention to the economy, to policies, tariffs, especially right now. And yeah, you want to shield yourself from a massive decline if that could be in your potential future. Or if one market or one segment is going to spike, you need to get in. Like you need to move based on policies.
Yeah. And I think like that's one of my favorite things about the team is that we're always really knowledgeable and we're never salesy. So like we constantly, the reason we get repeat business and the reason we get repeat referrals is because we always do what's in the client's best interest.
Always.
I think there's like a crazy stat for how many like, you know, when you buy a house and then you like go to sell it, most people, I think like 4 out of 5 will use a different realtor.
It's over 90%.
Yeah.
It's like 93 or something like that.
Yeah. It's like some crazy number.
Yeah. Well, nobody does any follow-up after too is one, right? But yeah, no, it is crazy to see how little people are paying attention out there to the economy, to stuff that's happening.
Oh yeah.
Well, seeing as though we pay attention, what do you think is going to be the future of Calgary's real estate market? Like what should our viewers know about what's to come?
Should we
Not that anybody can predict, but what's your best?
No, let's get the
sure.
crystal ball, right?
Yeah.
But should we like have the date of when we're saying this?
Yeah, for sure. No,
Because things
100%.
could
Please.
change
So
tomorrow,
sure.
right?
It is March 22nd.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, perfect. Yeah, because literally tomorrow things can change.
Oh, yeah. We
right?
talk about that all the time.
Yeah, like this post 2 weeks from now, and it's the apocalypse, right?
Yeah.
So again, like looking at international, federal, provincial, and then local policies, you can see I'll sum it up really quick in a couple factors, but you can see the tariffs are mostly going to be affecting Eastern Canada, right? So steel, manufacturing, and auto, those are the ones that are about to get pummeled. And that's, if you looked at 2014 to 2019, when the oil sector got pushed to collapse, all those people migrated into Ontario, and that caused that economy to boom. Now, all of those people are going to be losing their jobs, unfortunately, and you're going to see a mass migration back to Alberta because this is where the next job place is, right? And so like those are big factors. They've got some of the highest unemployment since the 80s, which is super crazy in Ontario. And if you just paid attention to other places where unemployment and the economy is going wrong and check the timelines. So 2014, oil and gas shuts down. 2014 to 2015, people mostly spent through their savings because a lot of people didn't have jobs, so they were burning up their savings and everything. 2015 to 2016, people started building up debt and living on credit because they ran out of savings. 2016 to 2017, the foreclosure process and everything started. In 2017, the bottom fell out. So you can follow the same pattern in Ontario, and people are like, oh, but they've got $200,000 or $300,000 or $400,000 of equity. Sure, but the mortgages are $15,000 to $20,000 a month. Those are big mortgages.
Yeah.
It doesn't take long to burn through a couple $100,000, plus living expenses, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, you could just see that the migration is going to be from east to west. And no matter what happens, if that migration comes here, supply and demand is what it is. Either we'll be shielded from what's going to happen to the overall Canadian population, or we might even see a good increase
Yeah.
for Calgary specifically.
So buy while you can. Low
Moral of the
key,
story.
we were just talking about the market
Yeah.
before when we were talking, like just when it was just us or whatever. And like we are saying that there's literally such a small window of opportunity for buyers to get in before, like while you can still negotiate, A, B, interest rates are trending downwards as of now.
Yeah.
And C, there's so much inventory.
Yeah. It's huge.
Well, now there's a chance to buy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we could see you guys called me on a Saturday, but I was with my wife checking out open houses because she drags me to the mall. She loves them.
Really?
Right.
Oh, but that's so cute.
So she says, "Does it not work for you, baby?" I said, "No, it's fine. It's okay." That's my Brazilian accent, by the way.
We'll ask you about her. Don't worry.
Yeah. But so yeah, we were in a bunch of open houses and they were slammed. Like I would say at least 10 to 12 groups each.
Yeah.
At a time.
In the house at a time.
Crazy.
Oh yeah. So that's like, again, these are just indicators that you know that the market is starting to come around.
For sure.
We're starting to see everything that's marketed well and priced well selling super quick. You're seeing the price decreases on the people that were crazy, but like for the most part, if you're just paying attention, putting it on the right price, right marketing, and even right marketing, I'll tell you, for example, like we just took on the Briar Hill listing for 2 mil. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I have.
So I was in there and we had a couple people that like even when I was there, I heard them like, oh, we saw this house 3 months ago, but it wasn't staged and it looked so blah. And like now it looks great. And like one of the people, they literally saw it 3 months ago. They didn't want to buy it. They saw the pictures just with staging included. And they came back and they're looking at putting in an offer. And they already saw the house.
Staging
the
makes
Getty
a
Group way.
Huge.
big difference.
Right? And proper quality photos and everything, right? So it's like marketing the property well, and staging obviously isn't the only thing, but like marketing the property well is so important. And but if you're a buyer sitting on the sidelines right now, like it's not going to be good for you. I would get moving way quick in the Calgary market.
For sure.
And if you're a seller, I'd be getting your stuff ready and prepped. I don't think you got to go on market this week or next week, but like end of next week and then 2 weeks past, I think it's time to get moving for sure.
Okay.
Get ready.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone who is trying to achieve financial freedom using real estate?
As a realtor or as an investor?
As an investor,
Investor?
as just a normal citizen.
Yeah. It's so crazy how it compounds when you just start. It is so crazy. And like it gets overwhelming when you watch YouTube and everything and all the people have like 50 doors and 5,000 doors and all this. You're like, I can never get there. But like that first one is a little bit difficult to do, but the second one is not so bad. And then like all of a sudden you're buying 4 or 5 at a time.
Yeah.
It goes
Absolutely.
so it is so much harder than you think it is to get started, but it is so much easier and better to get going once you're going than you realize.
Yeah.
So yeah, just get started and understand that like another really big one for investors is people like Warren Buffett, what does he say, right? Don't ever invest with emotions. Well, it's investing. You're not buying a home, but home is where the heart is, right? So it's like, are you buying a home or are you buying an investment? Pick and choose one. But if it's an investment, make sure it's in the right area, in the right type of house that's going to appreciate and all that kind of stuff. And then, like do like Nata did, for example. House hack is like probably one of the best ways to get in. And then all that money that you would have been paying for mortgage, save it. And then all of a sudden, within like a year, like how long did it take you to buy your second house?
That's exactly. We got it like literally a year later.
A year later.
Like I made it a goal of mine to try and buy one each year. That's how I know.
Yeah, right. But it was part equity and part because of all the money that you tucked away because you weren't paying.
Well,
to live.
yeah, and that's the thing is like our place went up so much in value so fast. And
You had
then
a great
once
realtor.
I did have a great realtor. And then like once you have that equity, you have to remember that that's leverage you can use to get another property, and that's how the snowball starts.
Yeah.
But without that
and that
first
money,
one.
like that equity, just so you guys know, I tell everybody too, that's monopoly money.
For sure.
Like equity is not real money until you actually realize it out of the property. Because it's going to go like this. That's what real estate does.
Yeah.
Anytime you have enough to take out it out and buy another one. Because eventually it's going to go away.
Yeah.
Be like, but I'm buying at the top of the market. I'm like, okay, or buy nothing and then let it go down and then you got no equity to take out. Like, what do you want to do?
Look at Toronto.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
You are an engaged man.
I am.
How'd you meet?
Online. Yeah.
Okay, how'd you get engaged?
Online. No, it started out, honestly, we first started talking on Instagram is where we started. So I sent her a DM and you got back to me in like 5 seconds. It's like,
Wait, what day? I remember.
it was so fast.
I'm so happy she's here now.
It was like she was sitting on her phone. I said, is this an auto reply?
Okay, so after a day, you responded.
So we met on, so we were talking on Instagram. We FaceTimed a couple times. And then you basically said you don't want a pen pal and that we need to meet in person. And I said, okay, we'll pick a place. And then pretty much the next day we were in Jamaica. Was the first date. Yeah. So we went to Jamaica and then that was amazing. And I even said like when we're leaving, I'm like, I know I'm not going to want to just go home. And then this is our dog. You can't see him in camera, but
You're wondering what that sound
Needs
is.
a lot of attention.
always.
Because Milla's from Brazil.
Yeah.
Sean's obviously from Canada. So
Yeah.
in case
Yeah.
that wasn't obvious.
So from Brazil, and like the thing with Brazil is like they can't travel to too many places from the country, so you need visas for everything. So when we're picking places, we're trying to do like under 14 hours flight each.
And the middle.
That was somewhere in the middle that she could actually go to. And then so Jamaica was the first one. And then how long were we home? Like I think we were home for a day before I said pick another place. And then it was like 2 more weeks, and then we were in Dominican, pretty much. And then we went to a few more places. And then I said, you should come to Canada. And she's like, I'm not coming to Canada until I'm engaged. Yes.
Stands on her business.
Yeah, she's straight up. Yeah.
I love that.
And
love that.
then, me too. And then, so then that was the time when I was buying those townhouses. So if you guys are familiar, I was buying my first time alive property and I screwed up and I forgot to put the paperwork in. And so when it was supposed to close, I didn't have the mortgage approval yet. And the builder was charging me $2,500 a day in interest every day. And you know how stressed that was, right? And so I told her I would love to get you an engagement ring, but I want to get you the right one, and I can't because I can't afford it because all the stuff is going on. Plus, like we're growing the team, and like everyone thinks you're making so much money, and like you generate a lot of money, but you spend a lot of money at the same time, right? Like it's not free, all this stuff. So that was happening, plus those townhouses, and I'm like, I just don't have money for a ring. So that's basically where we got to the engagement. So I went and I bought one. Do you ring it today or no?
No.
Not today.
It's okay. It wasn't legit.
Yeah, we literally came,
Absolutely.
yeah, we literally came from the gym. Yeah.
It's not just any ring.
No, it's a nice ring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the ring, please?
Do you like the ring?
I love it. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you, baby.
You're
Good
welcome.
job.
So yeah, for the ring, because I want to get a nice one, right? And I was originally looking because, like, to me the diamonds are like a scam for the most part. And I'm like, oh, these man-made diamonds are the same. They're made of the same material and everything. I went to a store and I looked at it. I'm like, oh yeah, like you can get for like $15,000 or $20,000 a huge ring. I mean, it's an amazing deal. And then I happened to just walk over into Tiffany's and I was looking at the Tiffany rings, and you literally can see the difference. Like there is a drastic difference in the ring for sure. And so then I went home and I was trying to Google how I could get a man-made one that looked like these, and you couldn't find them anywhere. But the one they had was it was a 130th anniversary
Special one.
pave, something or other, what it was called. And Tiffany made 130 of these rings for the anniversary, for the 130th year anniversary. And it went over so well that they put it in the lineup, and now it's a ring that you can buy in the lineup. But what happened is, with all my Googling and everything, I actually tracked down one of the original 130. It was sitting in some guy's vault in New York. And yeah, I got a hold of them and made a deal with them. And I literally had to fly to New York to buy the ring. And I told her, I'm like, oh, I got meetings in Toronto. I got training and all this kind of stuff, right? Really, I was flying to New York to pick up this ring. And then I was like, I had the ring and I was going back to Toronto. And she called me. She's like, oh, you're not there yet? I'm like, oh, no, I'm just at the airport. I had a layover. She's like, a layover to Toronto? And I'm like, you know me. I booked the wrong airport and I had to fly the wrong place. And, yeah. So anyways, yeah. So I had the ring. And it's cool because it's one of the 130 original ones, right? So like it's got all documentation. It's pretty cool. It's pretty special that it's one of those. Yeah. And anyway, she was competing for Miss Brazil at the time. And depending on whether she won or not, it was if we could stay in Brazil or we can go somewhere. And she won once, but not this particular time. And so all of a sudden now it's that night, and I'm like, okay, well, we got to find somewhere to go so I can propose. And I kept telling her, remember, I kept telling you, let's go to Cancun, let's go to, right? Because there are big resorts there, and they could help me with the proposal. And she said, I just want to go to Italy. I just want to
Eat.
And eat.
Yeah, eat.
I feel you.
So all she wanted to do was go to Italy. And I'm like, babe, the flights aren't working in the hotels. And I go, this just isn't working out. I go, we got to go to somewhere where there's a big resort. And I don't want. I just want Italy. And I'm like, oh, man. I go, what about Paris? I go, because that's easier, right? I go, let's go to France. She goes, I don't want to go to Paris. She had her heart set on Italy. There's no options.
Yeah.
And so then I'm scrambling, trying to find like a proper like resort style hotel, because most of Italy, like some of the hotels are a floor of a building is the hotel. Like
Yeah,
it's
super.
super. Well, you were there, right?
Yeah, they're tiny.
Yeah. So I finally tracked one down in Naples. Not Naples, it was beside it. Pompeii. Yeah, in Pompeii. And so I emailed them like, hey, we want to get engaged. Can you help us set it up? They're thinking like, oh yeah, when? Like in a month or 3 or whatever. Like, no, tomorrow. And like, oh my God, let me get you in touch with a planner and whatever. And then so they did. And so we got in touch with this planner. Well, not we, me. And she's like, okay, so when is your flight? I'm like, we leave in like 3 hours. Like, we'll be there in like,
As always.
yes. I'm like, we'll be there in like 14 hours or something like that. And I'm like, but we'll do for the next day, not the day we land, because that's a long flight, right? And then while I'm on the plane, I'm getting the emails, and the girl is like, the weather doesn't look good the next day, and so on and so on. She's like, we should really do it when you land. And she goes, when you land is like kind of close to sunset, so it'll be the right time. And so we landed, and I'm telling Milla, I'm like, hey, I got a nice dinner booked for us, so get ready after the flight and let's go. But you were a good sport. You didn't fight it or complain or nothing.
Oh, peace in Italy. Man.
What's there to complain about?
And then
Pasta, so I don't care.
yeah, and I'm the 300-pound person.
Literally.
So, but it was so crazy because I've got this ring in my bag now because I'm not going to check it, right? And it's a 6-figure ring. Like it's like
And he has the time with the bag.
I didn't even when we're at like the buffet and stuff in the lounge. She's like, "You don't put your bag down?" I go, "No,
Oh my god.
never."
Absolutely not.
But the crazy thing too is even like the room that we booked, it was like a beautiful hotel, obviously, and we booked a nice room, but the room was Tiffany blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you did you guys see that?
Know that.
Yeah, it was all black and Tiffany blue. Yeah, so like it matched the box and everything perfectly.
You know before?
No.
Wow.
Yeah, no.
It's special.
It's a sign.
Yeah, that was lucky. Yeah, like it was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so then we land, shower up and everything, and we're going to go upstairs, and the box is big, and I got nowhere to put it, right? And I'm like, oh, I hope she doesn't see this. I'm like trying to move it from front pocket to back pocket, depending on how we're walking. And
So weird.
who invited you here?
I'm here now.
So funny. So yeah, so we go upstairs and it's a patio, and they've got like half the patio blocked off as the setup. And we're walking like hand in hand, and then you walk first, and there's like a guy hiding in the bushes, like taking pictures. You saw that guy, didn't you?
No.
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 Okay.
Everybody looking for us, and we had no idea. Say, wow, maybe you are well dressing or something.
She did look really good.
For us, but
Yeah. Well, you were in that red dress. You looked beautiful on that day. Yeah, even up to the flight. Yeah. So then I still remember this. We turned the corner, and you thought it was for somebody else.
oh yes,
Because I
I
kept,
had no idea.
because I kept telling her, I said like I want to, but I can't because
Yeah.
all this stuff is going on. I got no cash, all this kind of stuff. And then we turned the corner, and she's like, "Oh, baby, this is not for us." Like, go to pull me away. I'm like, "No, like this is you're about to get engaged."
And I saw the picture photography. Everybody there, I saw.
Yeah, yeah, it was awesome.
Very
beautiful.
grand. That is so
beautiful.
sweet, you guys.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite? What's your like biggest pet peeve about him?
Okay.
What do you
the most
not like the most?
Yeah,
that
like
Shawn
what-
does?
what's like
guys.
something
Just
really
suck into the mic,
annoying
baby.
that Shawn does?
So what do you hate about me, baby?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, it's impossible. I'm sorry.
It has to be one thing.
About the flights. He is confused about flights.
Okay.
And
Oh, yeah.
hotel and
Yeah.
everything, and be late sometimes.
Oh yeah, very late.
I'm late all the time. Nata used to book me a half hour before I
did.
was actually supposed to be
He'd
there.
show
Yeah,
up before me,
that's- yeah,
and then he'd be
that
like, "Where are
works.
you?" And I'd be like, "I just got here."
Yeah. And for the
We love a
flights,
strategic
Same
queen.
sometimes.
yeah, for the flights, we book everything last minute, and we're moving so fast all the time.
Yeah.
So I always just book the flights. But the problem is when you're going back and forth on these websites,
Oh yeah.
you don't realize, but they reset the month. So you know, years sometimes.
Tickets for years.
Oh,
Whatever.
all these flights
Years.
for years later.
Exactly.
Yeah, we probably still have some flights that are outstanding. Yeah.
So funny.
But and like sometimes it's terrible. Like sometimes I'll book the wrong airport. So like one time we showed up at the wrong airport. Remember we had to go.
Time
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Rome.
Rome. Yeah. So we had to take like a speed train to get because they just the flights weren't available.
Yeah.
Or one time it worked out kind of cool. Like I messed up. So we went to the airport early. We were finally early. Remember?
Yeah.
He is super relaxed with time.
Yeah. Oh, very
Like,
relaxed. Yeah.
It is different. So, baby, we have to go. No, let's buy something. Maybe McDonald's or whatever.
We missed
Don't
the
have time.
we missed the train because I was in McDonald's. Yeah.
Me too. For a cheeseburger, because I
Yeah.
swear Italian
Cheeseburger,
McDonald's
cheeseburger.
is so good.
Exactly. It's something around the world you can find McDonald's.
You need it, yeah. But yeah, this one time actually we were supposed to meet you on that island.
Yeah, in Sardinia.
Sardinia.
Yeah.
They were there.
Nice to meet you.
Remember I told you, Ryan and Nata? Yeah.
Remember.
But so what happened is I booked so Sardinia there's 3 airports. So there's on the north side, there's
Yeah.
like one on the east side and west side, and then there's one on the south.
Yeah.
And what happened is when I booked one, I missed a date. Oh yeah, I did the wrong date. So we got there and we were super early, and I'm like, "This is amazing. We're like the first ones here. This is great." I go, "We could relax." And then we get to the counter, and she's like, "Oh, this is for like next month." I'm like, "Oh,
Oh God.
And then
Line.
we're like with the bags, right? And then the girl's like, oh no, like you could go buy a ticket from the booth over there. So I go to buy the ticket from the booth, and that was like 1,500 euros a ticket or something like that for an hour. It was for an hour flight. Sorry, baby. But so then it was we did it. But I booked it for the wrong airport. I thought we were going to the north. I ended up booking the south one. And then I thought I booked the car for the north one, but I actually accidentally booked it for the south
I
one.
remember that.
So when we got there, the car was actually there.
Yeah.
But I originally booked it for the wrong airport.
No, because we had trouble renting a car, and then Ryan was like, Shawn accidentally got a car and he's not using it. Like maybe we can get that one. And then you were like, oh, psych.
Just kidding. We got the right airport now.
Now you know.
But I was originally going to one airport, and the car that I booked was at another airport.
Yeah.
And then because we had to switch
remember.
it.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Whoops. Yeah, that's probably the worst.
Yeah, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Not so serious. Just be patient and everything will be
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I feel like you guys balance each other out very well.
For sure.
He was on time.
Yeah.
Sean's not.
Not as much.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on our podcast. Was it fun?
It was awesome.
Would you recommend other guests to come on?
Oh yeah.
Yay.
I'll give you guys a list of some names you should have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Because this is like a fun real estate podcast. There's
is.
so many boring ones, and like I watch a lot of real estate content because it's just what we do, right?
Yeah.
And when I'm watching, I'm like, man, like it's like I'm falling asleep here,
For sure.
right? So,
Talk about it.
With Wiza's laugh, you can never fall asleep.
no 0% chance. Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning
Yes.
in to the Two Keys in a Podcast. Until next time, we will see you then.
Awesome.
Bye.
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 Good job.
Yay!
Yay!